Good morning, everyone, and welcome to iBand's presentation. My name is Rami, and I'm joined by my teammates Chutsi and Yifan. And today we're going to present our app to you.
Okay, for the first part is what and why. And our app named iBand is an application based on iOS for making music by using hand gestures. And it can provide people, especially for children and people with accessibility needs, with an alternative way to create music. And for the reason, there is no existing app that can install in the iPhone that use the accelerometer or external gestures to create music. So we come up with this idea. Okay, next page, please. And it's about how it works. First, the user needs to select the instrument and set the chords for each gesture. And then they can create music by using a hand gesture or movements. And at the same time, they can also record and save the music they just created and view the saved. Now let's go do the demo.
Hey, Rami, why don't you show us the new song you learned in the piano?
Oh, I'd love to do that, but we don't have a piano available.
Oh, I know. Why don't you use the iBand?
That's a great idea, Chutsi. Let's try to use iBand. All right, so this is iBand. So this new song that I want to show you guys is on the piano. So at the very top, we have an option to select an instrument. And when I click that, you have an option to pick between piano, guitar, and violin. So I'm going to go ahead and pick piano. And then I have an option to select the key that I would like to play the music in. We have two keys available, the key of C and the key of G. And as you change the keys, you can see the chords changing in the middle section. So I'm going to pick the key of G, and I'm going to select the chords that I'm going to play. So I'm going to select, if you look at the bottom part, you'll notice that there are arrows that represent each direction of where I could play each chord. So I'm going to pick G, D, E minor, C, and that corresponds to the up movement, down movement, right, and left. Once I select all the chords, I can press play, which takes us to this play page. On the play page, there is a reminder on how you can play each chord that shows each chord in the right direction. So I'm going to give it a try. Let me know if you guys can hear it. And if I wanted to, I could use a metronome to help guide me play the music. So I could just turn the switch on at the bottom here. And it's a visual metronome. So if you're looking at your screen, you'd be seeing the background flashing in a different color. I can adjust the speed of the metronome to make it faster or to make it slower. And then I could use that to guide me with playing the music like this. I can also choose to record the music that I want to play. So I'm going to press the record button over here. And if I stop, I get a prompt to save the song that I would like to, that I just played. So I'm going to call this the final presentation. And I'm going to press save. Then I could go back to the main page, and there's a button at the bottom right where I can view all the saved songs. So I'll click that, and you'll see final presentation at the bottom there. So if I just tap it, so that plays the song that we just played. And you'll notice that we have other songs that we've saved before. So we can tap those. And finally, we're also able to change the instrument of the song. So the final presentation song that we just played was done in piano. If I swipe to the left, there's an edit option where I could switch it to violin. So it uses the same recording with the same MIDI files, just with a different instrument. And when I tap this after changing the instrument, then it's played with that new instrument. And I can also delete any of the saved data. And that's how iBand works. All right. So going back to the presentation, I'm going to talk about the structure of our application. So on the left-hand side, you can see the UI views, and that is essentially everything that you just saw on the screen. And on the right-hand side, that's all the background stuff of the application. There's two main controllers that drive the application. There's the play controller and the saved controller. The play controller is essentially everything you see on that play page with the 4 directions of the chords. The saved controller is everything you see on the saved list page. So on the play controller, it interfaces with 3 primary components in the iPhone. It interfaces with the accelerometer, which we use to read data of how the user moves their iPhone. It also interfaces with audio out, which is how you hear the music that is being played. And it also interfaces with the Audio Toolbox library, which provides us with a sound bank of MIDI files for multiple instruments. And in the middle section there, the green part is the database, and that's essentially where we're saving all that music and all that information on the iPhone. So the play controller uses the audio toolbox to determine which notes to play, and it drives that to audio out. And if you choose to save the song, it saves it into the database in the middle. The save controller, on the other hand, uses the database to find out which files to pull in from the sound bank. And based on that information, it also plays it back to audio out.
Okay, future work. We have received lots of feedback during previous spirals, which is pretty useful. For example, the metronome that we already added, and mixing tracks is another great idea. Thank you, guys. And the mixing tracks will allow the user to mix 2 recordings together and create a full song with multiple tracks of instruments. For example, a guitar chords progression with a drum beat loop and also a bass line. And second, we can also add buttons that make the metronome produce tick-tock sound in the future. And third, we can also add more keys and instruments so the user will have more options when playing music. Key learning. First, code quality is important. Code following the industry standard for maintenance allowed programmers to easily add new functionalities when needed based on existing code. And second, we also see the importance of planning earlier. So planning, development, features, and splitting the work before the spirals early make us easy and straightforward to work individually.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Everyone is musician.
Great, thank you. Great work. I enjoyed watching that demo, and it's really clear that you've put some great thought into how to build this thing and to make it work. I'm quite impressed. I really liked it. A few quick questions. Both in a bunch of presentations, you've made the claim this is the only accelerometer generated music device. Is that really true, or are you just saying that? Do you have evidence for that?
Well, when we first started this project, we did look around in the App Store to try and find that. Maybe it's not too easy to find the right keywords to search with, but based on our limited search, we couldn't really find anything.
Okay, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I'd be surprised if it was the very first time someone came up with that. I love the recording sound, and I was sitting there, I was thinking about your progression. Originally, you were recording the sound as it went out of the speaker and back into the microphone. Then you said you were recording sound internally, which implied it was the waveform you were supplying. But now or did you immediately switch over to storing MIDI notes in the internal storage?
I think we immediately just moved to the MIDI form.
I see.
We didn't really store any audio waves. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that because I was thinking about it, and then you actually showed it. It's great to see the flip over to the other instruments because that's easy to do with MIDI.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. That's all comments I had. I really enjoyed it though. Dan, yeah, Dan.
No comments from me. Just wanted to say good job. Slides were nice, and the app is really cool.
Thank you.
Kia.
Yeah, no comments from me. I really like the idea of being able to change the instrument after the fact. I think that's pretty cool. So good job.
Very good.
Thank you.
Comments from anyone else? Questions, suggestions? Okay, let's turn off that sharing.